Hey guys, my name's Alex West. I'm the Salaryman VTuber, official NGS content creator, and pretty much Line Strike is going for 1 week now, and there's still a lot of players who are confused on how to make a deck for Line Strike. So we're pretty much gonna talk about every single element and pretty much what can you do with them as well. Let's go with Dark. Dark is very unique. As you can see, like what Ruriko said, Dark can go for a lot of plays. It really depends on you. Okay, let's talk about the cards first. So one of the cards over here is Dark False Elder. Yes, he has no skill, you know? He's like me, he has no skill. However, he has 30 attack, right? Which makes him an absolute unit. So even though he has no skill, just like me, he has a big attack over here. Muscle brain in short, yes. Yes, this guy hits like a freaking truck. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's really hard to counter. Especially with a good buffing deck. Yes, especially with the proper setup. He is really hard to counter. Okay, another one over here is the debuff. Dark offers a lot of good debuff. Theodore over here is a -5. We got Niels over here, which is an early game to mid game. So Niels, again, is one of those cards that can provide an early to mid game interrupt. And then, of course, you're gonna use him as an override summon. Alright? Because I have seen this so many times. They use Niels for early game. I would say don't use Niels for early game. Use your Niels for like mid game. I'm not gonna lie with you. It's gonna save your ass. And it's gonna counter a lot of buffer decks. I know he's only -2, but then again, he's only 1 cost summon. Alright? And then you can use him as an override summon for Theodore or Belyak over here. Because they offer a lot of minus debuff on a big area as well. Alright, I'll check it later. Next is El Rada. El Rada is same. You can use El Rada in the early game. Because El Rada has a good attack. It has definitely good -2, -3. But if you want to use him on the mid game, that's fine. But I would definitely say use El Rada on the early game. Because usually on the early game, they have lower attacks. And they usually start on the left or the right. And this is what makes El Rada an absolute good unit for the early game. You'll pretty much see that on your opponent. Usually, they start on the left or the right. So you can just conquer, probably. You can go with left side or right side. Yeah, they're gonna get early debuff in the early game. Also, if you want to use someone on the early game, just use Dagan. Dagan is just a 1 cost. It's a -1. Usually center. He's gonna miss. But at least use him for override summon. Unlike to Niels over here. Niels has more utility. It's -2, -1 with 2 areas over here. Okay, so that's why you don't want to use Niels on the early game. Use him on mid game. If you want to use someone for early game, again, Dagan would be a great option. Or unless you know that your opponent will use a Zeno, usually Zeno will be here. And then you might want to use Dagan for mid game. But then again, it's only -1. So, yeah. Depends on situation, pretty much. Dudu over here. Dudu, Barbara. I cannot pronounce his name. This card over here, this monster, and his brother as well. They are move cards, but you can see most of their move is pretty much on the same direction. It's going to the middle. The reason why, you might want to pair this with stun cards. Okay, now we're talking about stun cards. This is my most hated card in the game, Sarah over here, because you want to combo Sarah with these 2 move cards over here. All right, so let's say they have you use Dagan, right? Early game you use Dagan, right? Dagan is a 1 cost. You also use Dudu as another 1 cost. So your next turn you're gonna have 4 PP, right? So you're gonna use Dagan and Dudu as an override summon to summon one of this monster over here to put their big card in the middle, and then you're gonna stun it probably later or on the same turn with Sarah. Okay, if you wanna utilize Sarah on a highest level, yes, go for this 2. You need this 2 as your pretty much a combination. And then now let's say you use this guy over here to move his card in the middle, right? So stuns by Sarah, and then you can use that card, you can use Sarah as an override summon for Hadred. However, before you use Hadred, same thing again. You might want to try to consider... Oh, sorry, wait. Sorry, I was wrong. Sorry. If you're gonna use Hadred, that's also a good combination because 1, you stun the card over here, right? You're gonna stun the card next. It's an absolute pain. You can do that. However, what I experienced is a triple Sarah combo. So he moved my card from here to here, to this from top center to middle center, and then he keeps stacking 3 Sarah cards on the right side, and that's how he wins. My card over here was Kalari's Christ from what I remember, and my Kalari's Christ cannot move anymore. Absolutely pain. I lose the center and I lose the right side as well because I keep trying to defend the center, but yeah, he keeps stunning me, and GG for me. I didn't expect he's gonna drop 3 Sarahs. So again, if you want to utilize Sarah, you need to have this 2 over here. However, there are more stun cards aside from Sarah. We got Theodore over here. Theodore is a 2 cost. Same goes with Sarah. We also have cards like Persona. The only problem with Persona, yes, he has a high attack, but it's a single area stun. The one thing that I would say, if I'm gonna build a stun deck, I would go for Matoy, because Matoy can stun 2 cards or 2 areas, which is absolutely you can utilize. Unlike to Persona, it's only 1. But if you don't have Matoy, that's fine. Persona can do the job for you. One thing Persona can have is a higher 1 attack value, which is absolutely great. So for stun deck, you might want to consider, of course, Theodore, Sarah, Hadred. Get all of the stun. I would say get all of the stun, and then you need the move boys. Okay, you're gonna need the move boys. Absolutely, this is a must. So you might wanna probably save the move cards for mid game, and then bait your enemy. I'm telling you, bait your enemy to put their big cards. It's either at the bottom or at the top center. And then you can also do that as well with Barbara. Barbara is also a good combo with Matoy over here, because remember, Matoy can stun upper center. Give me a second, let me just double check. Where is our Matoy? Yeah, Matoy can stun on the upper left side and the bottom right side. So you push 1 card up using Barbara over here. So now Barbara push that card, and then pretty much you combo it. You stun it later with Matoy. Use Barbara as an override summon for Matoy. Stun will be absolutely good. It will definitely stun your enemy. Yes, I'm not joking here. It can literally a big stun impact to them, especially if you stun a big card. It can also probably a good end game finisher as well. Usually, you want to save your big stun on the end game. Your let's say 2 cost cards like Theodore, this is absolutely good in the early game. The only downside for stun deck is you might want to people are gonna predict some of you guys are gonna start either at the center or either at the right side over here. And usually stun, based from what I experienced, okay, because probably some people don't do it, but usually stun deck starts at the right side, so I contest the right side as much as I can. So that's how you want to. And then if they start you start to contest the right side, you don't go to the center, go here, because if you go to the center, you're gonna get fucked. I'm telling you. Even if you put your card here, they can still move it. I'm telling you, they're just gonna move your card. So that's how you probably might want to counter for stun. Yeah, it's either left or mid. Sometimes I experience right and stuff like that. So just be careful. There's a lot of ways to start. Don't worry about it. It's not uniformal. But I would say if you're fighting a stun deck, don't contest on the middle. Okay? Don't contest them heavily on the middle. If you see them starting over on the right, just go on the other side. Or probably take mid as early as you can. Take the mid, take center. Yeah, take center on the early game, and then you bring the fight to them on the right side. Because they have less cards on stunning on the right side over here. The only stun card that they have for the right side is Matoy. And you can just pretty much don't put any big cards here. As you can see, yeah, because if you bring the fight on the left side, they have 2 stun cards left, which is Matoy and Persona. So that's why if you're gonna fight a stun deck, okay, the late game has to be on the left side. Always remember that. I have won against a lot of stun decks. I'm not saying that for flex, but that's what I do pretty much. If I see a stun deck, I'm pretty much either get the left side very early or save the left side late game. You mean no right side against dark deck? No, just for stun deck. Because there's a lot of dark decks. You can dark decks can go for debuff. Yes, there is another form of dark. They can go for debuff. Another one is they can go for a buffer build with light and Dark False Elder. They can also go for move cards. Yeah, as you can see, they have good move cards as well. So, what are combinations that I would recommend for Dark Element? You can go with Dark and Ice. Dark and Ice, absolutely. Really good combination. Especially with Tia over here. Tia can give you a lot of PP in the early game. So you're gonna spend 3 PP the next turn. You're gonna have 4 PP. Absolutely really great. If you want to go for buff-centric deck, yes, Ice and Dark will also work. But I would say usually people go for Ice and Dark for the debuffs. The debuffs are absolutely one of the best. And I think it's one of the easy deck that you can build for Dark. However, again, there is another type of Dark cards that is heavily focused for Dark False Elder and Phaleg, which is the Dark and Lightning. They're gonna get every single light buffer cards. Because, again, light buff is absolutely really good. It's something that you want to utilize. Also, there is Dark and Wind. Dark and Wind is also a good combination because you can move your big cards. you can move your Dark Falls Elder from one place to another. As you can see, Kaskra, you can have Ulko, Katori, and Mokoto. So pretty much that's how you want to focus on the Dark. Again, and lastly, Dark can have stun. You can go for a mono stun Dark, or probably go for Ice Dark stun. The reason why you might want to go for Ice Dark is because of Tia. Tia over here can offer you a lot of PP. And then they can Tia with Echo can buff your cards, which is absolutely good for defending as well. So instead, yeah, just go for Ice Dark if you want to go for stun. Okay. Again, there's a lot of ways on how you want to build your deck. Really depends on your taste, I would say. It's not gonna be a one-time go.